In an elegant restaurant, amidst sparkling glasses and the laughter of others, a woman silently bears the weight of her 30 years. Alone, with painful memories and growing doubts, she waits for someone who seems ever more distant. What should have been a celebration turns into a whirlwind of uncertainties, until an unexpected gesture changes everything. Among secrets, absences and reunions, that night will reveal that love can disguise itself as mystery before showing its truest form. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. Claire Anderson was examining the menu without really reading it. 30 years. The number echoed in her mind like a persistent bell. 30 years and sitting alone in a restaurant too fancy for just one person. The navy blue dress she had chosen for the occasion, when her favourite, now seemed inappropriate, as if she had dressed up for a party that wouldn't happen. "Have you decided what you're going to order, miss?" asked the waiter, a middle-aged man with impeccable posture. "Not yet. I need a few more minutes," she replied, forcing a smile. When the waiter walked away, Claire checked her phone for the 10th time. No message from Nathan. Her fiancé had promised to meet her at 7, but it was already past 7:30. She sent another message. "Still coming?" The typing ellipsis appeared and disappeared several times until the response finally came. "I'm dealing with something important. Sorry for the delay. I love you." Claire sighed, putting her phone back in her purse. The past few weeks had been strange. Nathan, always so present and affectionate, seemed distant, constantly busy with calls he would take in a low voice, locked in the bedroom or hiding on the balcony of the apartment they had shared for 2 years. 3 nights ago, she had woken up to his voice coming from the living room. "I need that money by Friday," he was saying. "I can't wait any longer." The urgency in his tone and his words sent a chill through Claire's stomach. Debts? Gambling? In the 3 years of their relationship, Nathan had never mentioned financial problems. On the contrary, his job as an architect seemed stable and satisfying. Noisy people occupied the table next to hers, momentarily diverting her thoughts. Claire took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her 30 years like never before. It wasn't just Nathan's absence that bothered her that night. It was something deeper, a sense of incompleteness that had been growing in her chest for months. She took the wallet and discreetly opened the photo compartment. There was her family: father, mother, her 2 younger brothers, and her grandmother with white hair. All of them in front of the simple house where she grew up, hundreds of kilometers away. People who depended on her financially, but whom she rarely saw. Each bank transfer she made, practically a third of her salary as a marketing manager, eased her guilt, but didn't eliminate it. The money bought medicine for her grandmother, paid for her youngest brother's college, helped with the harvest when the year was difficult. But it didn't replace her presence. It didn't cradle her grandmother when arthritis attacked on cold nights. It didn't celebrate her brother's small triumphs. It didn't hold her mother's aging hand on Sunday afternoons. "May I suggest the shrimp risotto? It's the house specialty," the waiter had returned, noticing her lost look. "Sounds great," Claire replied, closing the menu and tired of waiting so long. "And a glass of white wine, please." "Celebrating something special?" he asked with a polite smile. "My birthday, actually," she admitted, feeling even more lonely saying the words. "Happy birthday, then. The first drink will be on the house." Claire thanked him with a shy smile. As the waiter walked away, her thoughts returned to her family. Her last visit had been 6 months ago when her father had fallen in the barn. It was only 3 days, but enough to realize how much she was missing being away. Her middle brother Lucas now had a serious girlfriend whom she barely knew. Her grandmother seemed more fragile, needing help even to get up from her chair. And her parents... Oh, her parents. More hunched, slower, more tired. "You are doing the right thing," her mother always said during the weekly calls. "Your work in the big city helps us much more than if you were here." But the tone of voice, that slight tremor at the end of the sentence, said something else. It said longing. It said missing. It said absence. The phone vibrated in her purse. Nathan again. "I'm arriving. 10 minutes. She replied with a heart emoji, but the irritation and worry were still pulsing in her chest. It wasn't just the lateness. It was the behavior of the past few weeks, the secret conversations, the money mentioned, the emotional distance. When the waiter brought the appetizer, a caprese salad artistically arranged on the plate, Claire noticed Nathan entering the restaurant. He spotted her, smiled nervously, and gestured that he needed to take a call. She watched him, uneasy, as he spoke on the phone near the entrance, his shoulders visibly tense, his gaze evasive. "I need to take care of something," he said as he reached the table, quickly kissing her on the forehead. "I'll be back in 5 minutes, I promise." And before she could protest, he had already left again, leaving her alone with the untouched salad and half a glass of wine. Claire tried to eat, but every bite felt like sand in her mouth. It was her 30th birthday, and there she was, abandoned in an expensive restaurant, with a fiancé acting like a stranger, and a family too distant to embrace her. The waiter returned with the risotto, noticing her dispirited expression. "Your companion had to leave?" he asked with genuine concern. "He said he'll be back soon," Claire replied without much conviction. The waiter placed the plate in front of her and, to her surprise, leaned slightly, bringing himself closer to her ear. "Keep eating and don't look at the table next to you, or your fiancé may have problems." He moved away without completing the sentence, leaving Claire paralyzed. The fork was suspended in the air between the plate and her mouth. A wave of panic washed over her. What did it mean? Was it some kind of threat? She wanted to turn around immediately, but something in the firmness of the warning stopped her. She tried to keep eating, but her fingers were trembling. She had heard stories of restaurants that served as fronts for criminal activities. What if she was witnessing something she shouldn't be? What if Nathan was involved in something dangerous? The suspicious conversations, the money mentioned. Everything was starting to make a terrible sense. She called the waiter back, her voice trembling. "Please tell me what is going on. Where is my fiancé? What is on the table next to us?" The man looked at her intently. "It's better to look ahead and keep going," he replied in a low tone. "Trust me." The enigmatic response only heightened her despair. Claire tried to focus on the risotto, but every sound startled her. The chatter from the table next to her now seemed conspiratorial and threatening. Her mind was conjuring ever darker scenarios. Nathan involved with loan sharks, debt collectors, maybe even something worse. Then she heard footsteps approaching from behind. Firm, determined. Her heart raced. She didn't turn around. She couldn't. She remembered the waiter's warning. "Claire?" a female voice called, smooth as a spring morning. That voice, so familiar, so impossible to be there. Claire turned around slowly, fearing she was imagining things, but she wasn't. Mum. There, standing in a simple floral dress that Claire had sent last Christmas, was Teresa Anderson, and beside her, smiling shyly, was her father, Roberto, in a suit that seemed borrowed, so unaccustomed was he to formal clothes. "Happy birthday, my daughter," said Teresa, her eyes already welling up with tears. Claire stood up, her legs shaky, unable to believe it. And then, as if a curtain had been lifted, she saw who occupied the table next to her. Her brothers, Lucas and Miguel, both dressed with unusual elegance, and beside them, in a special chair, her grandmother Elisa, fragile but radiant, her white hair tied in an elegant bun. How? The words got lost in her throat, turning into a sob. Nathan appeared behind the group without the phone in his hand, his face now serene and smiling. "Surprise, my love," he said, approaching to hug her. "Sorry about the theatrics. We wanted it to be special." Claire felt the tears flow uncontrollably. Her father stepped forward, hugging her tightly. "I thought I would never wear this old suit again," he joked, his voice hoarse with emotion. "But your mother insisted that the occasion deserved it." One by one, they hugged her. Lucas formally introduced his girlfriend, Isabella, a young woman with a sweet smile whom Claire only knew from photos. Miguel excitedly talked about his first semester in agricultural college, a course she helped finance, and Grandma Elisa, as she hugged her, held her face between her wrinkled hands. "Look at you, my treasure. 30 years old and more beautiful than ever." When everyone settled around a larger table that the waiter provided, Claire still couldn't believe it. She looked at Nathan, who was smiling, visibly relieved to finally reveal the secret. "So that was it? The secret calls? The money you mentioned?" "Plane tickets for 6 people aren't cheap," he replied, holding her hand, "especially on short notice. I had to make some arrangements, ask for an advance at work." Teresa took an embroidered cloth bag and pulled out an envelope, extending it to Claire. "It's nothing fancy, but we made it with love," she said. With trembling fingers, Claire opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter, with the simple and familiar handwriting of her mother. "Claire, dear daughter, we are so proud of you, of the woman you have become, of the career you have built. You have never stopped being our loving daughter, even from afar. The money you send helps us, but your strength, your example, and your courage support us even more. Thank you for fighting for all of us, even when it causes you pain. I know that many times you wonder if you are doing the right thing, if you should be more present. But I want you to know, you are not an absent daughter. You are our hope. You are the future we dreamed of for our family. And today we came to remind you that we are with you, always. In the distance, on lonely nights, in achievements and difficulties. We are with you because you never left us, even while being far away. With all our love, your family." Tears flowed freely down Claire's face. Each word was like a balm for the wound she had carried for so long. The guilt of being absent, of prioritizing her career, of sending money instead of hugs. "I was so worried today," she confessed, wiping away the tears. "With Nathan missing, with those mysterious calls, and the waiter scared me so much with that warning." Everyone laughed, including the waiter, who watched the scene from a distance with satisfaction. "He deserves a raise after that scare," Nathan joked, "but it was worth it, wasn't it?" Claire nodded, unable to speak. She looked at her gathered family, the beloved faces, the work-worn hands, the genuine smiles, and felt the weight of the past months dissipate. Her grandmother took her hand across the table. "You know, my dear, when you left, I thought I would lose my little granddaughter forever," said Elisa, in a gentle voice. "But I discovered that love isn't measured by miles. You're here with me every day, in that photo album next to my bed, in the letters you write, in the money that makes my medication possible. And in the clumsy video calls where you only show half your face," added Miguel, eliciting laughter from everyone. Claire felt her heart lighter than it had been in months. She took a deep breath and finally allowed herself to accept. She was not failing. Her path, even with absences and distances, was the right one for her and for those she loved. The dinner continued with stories, laughter, and some tears. Nathan talked about the preparations for the surprise, the secret calls to Teresa, the money he needed to gather for the tickets. "It was worth every penny just to see your face now," he said, kissing her on the forehead. When the waiter brought a cake decorated with 30 small candles, everyone sang happy birthday. Claire closed her eyes to make her wish, but realized she didn't need to wish for anything. Everything she had ever wanted was there, around her. "So, daughter," her father asked when the candles were blown out, "how does it feel to be 30 years old?" Claire smiled, looking at each face around the table. Her father, with the rough hands of someone who works the land. Her mother, with the serene smile that always calmed her. Her brothers, growing and following their own paths. Her grandmother, frail but strong like the ancient roots of a tree. And Nathan, the man who understood her heart divided between two worlds. "It's frightening," she admitted honestly. "But with you all here, I feel like I can face anything." That night, as she returned home with Nathan and his family, who would be staying with them for a week, Claire understood the most valuable lesson of her 30 years. True love, whether from family or those we choose to love, always finds a way to reach us, no matter the distance. And sometimes, the greatest gift we can receive is the reminder that we don't have to carry the weight of the world alone. The table beside her, which had once frightened her so much, was actually the place where her heart had always been. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.